Nope. Yeah, here they come.
As you may have followed in previous episodes, autumn was an incredibly busy time for us on the land. We were kept busy in the garden harvesting our summer crops, renovating the beds, planning out and attending to our winter seedlings. We spent many late nights preserving the summer harvests, canning and jarring fruit chutneys and sauces so we could enjoy the bounty over the winter and spring months. We processed 40 meat birds and put away half a Jersey cow, more on that later, to fill the freezer with a year's supply of pasture-raised chicken and grass-fed beef. The arrival of our piglets also brought its unique set of challenges, which kept us busy as the days grew shorter and colder. Another thing we had to do before the rains came was to grade the dirt road leading to our property. Last year, large puddles and potholes formed on this road, making it difficult for certain vehicles to drive up to the house during the wettest parts of winter and spring. The drainage was also poor, running directly down our driveway, washing out the gravel, causing erosion, and depositing mud and dirt in the valley instead of flowing down to our dam or off into the pasture. Fortunately, our friends loaned us their grader, which we could fit on the back of our tractor. We hoped that grading the entrance into the property and amending the drainage issue would improve the runoff into our dam. This is vital for us to water our livestock and irrigate the garden in the summer months.
Well, we've graded out the road and it's working. All right, the rains have come and our driveway's not washing away anymore. Now, as long as I've got that little grader blade that we've been using, I also want to cut a diversion ditch along contour on our property where I've seen a bit of a drain. I've made this, I just got 2 sticks of wood, screwed them to this bit here, screwed this bit and left this bit free, and then moved it up and down while I was standing on the concrete till it was absolutely level. I can just see the little bubble sitting between these black lines. Screwed this on here, and now I can see any 2 points. If they're level, they're at the same elevation above sea level, which means they're on the same contour. So I'm going to go out into the paddock and, well, why don't you just come along and I'll show you. So here's the problem. We've got what amounts to a nice gentle spillway here if the dam fills up too much, but it doesn't fill up too much because we're missing out on a lot of water. So further over there, and I'll show you where it is, there's a bit of a ditch that's running down the side of our property and it's taking water from the road that would normally come down to here. The road is catching the water, funneling to the corner and then diverting it off down and onto the council's road where it's becoming a problem. It would be really great if we could get it in here. So the road into the property bends there, water comes down and it naturally runs down here and leaves the property. You know, it probably doesn't actually carry that much dirt with it because of all these leaves and stuff like that, but this drainage ditch is what we want to link up our dam with. So I'm just going to walk our A-frame across to this, catch it, and then we'll use the blade and we'll cut ourselves a nice little catch drain going in. Now all I need to do from here is find any 2 level points. I'm going to mark them, and then later on I'm going to bring the tractor with that blade that we used to cut the road. I'm going to come down and do a nice long trench on contour that catches the water over there and brings it over here. I want it fairly flat, just so when the water's in there, it very gently comes to the dam, and any dirt and sediment in there, it sort of drops there. I found this spot marking spray. It still works, so every point that I find that's exactly the same contour as the last point, I'll put a spot there. Later on, I'll come and put some stakes in that I cut from poplar that's going wild down at the bottom of the property, and then I'll come and cut it with the tractor. So we'll start from here. There's a spot. It's all downhill. So I can pretty much go from here. So leading up to here is quite obviously downhill. It was only gentle on here, but even with my eye I can see this. The good thing about this is when you're looking across, trying to follow a contour by eye, it's not always obvious, but as long as the bubble on this level is between the two lines indicating that it's flat, I know that I'm on the same contour. So that's what we'll do now. We'll work our way along and I'll just mark that all the way across this hill. We'll find it nice and flat, we'll cut it, and then time will tell if we've done a good job, because not only do I have to find the level, which is there, not only do I have to find the level, but as an inexperienced machine operator with that tractor, I also have to cut a line through here that's relatively flat as well. Wish me luck. If you have a bit of a close-up look at what I'm doing with this bubble, I'm making sure that it touches the uphill side just slightly, and what that means is it's just on a slight grade. Some people, when they're using these, they spin them around and walk them. You can do it just like this though. Make sure it's more consistent because nothing changes apart from the slope. Well, it's always a little bit ugly tearing open the top of the ground, but we've got some rain coming soon, so hopefully it'll set what I've done. So what I wanted was a nice cut down to the clay layer. Excuse this dog. So there's a nice hard clay layer here, a little bit of soft dirt on top of it, so it's hard to see, but you can see the red's been smeared through there. And there's just a nice fall all the way down. But I also wanted to make the ditch on the advice of one of our neighbours, just to make sure that it's smooth and you can drive over it. So it needs to be deep enough, but I've just been taking the top off it so it's not too much of a shock to drive, say, a trailer or something like that. Here's a little bit radical and I might clean it up, but further where the road normally is, I've taken care to make sure it's nice and smooth there. I actually took so much care that I made a little bit of a low spot, but we'll see how it goes. I might just dress this up with a shovel now, but most of the hard work is done. And it looks pretty good. Well, it looks pretty ugly, but it looks like there's a nice fall.
The abundance of autumn didn't stop at our veggie patch, finding ourselves foraging for edibles off the property to feed the livestock and ourselves. We're here under this grove of beautiful chestnut trees. They're pretty old. I'm not sure how old they are exactly, but they've got a lot of fruit that's dropped on the ground and we're collecting the nuts. The parrots got there first and dropped them for us and cracked them open, so we're just foraging and picking up all the chestnuts. So anything that's a little too small we'll give to the pigs, the rest is for us. So we'll be roasting them over the fire this autumn.
So unlike Pascal, I've left my gloves at home, so I've had to learn from our livestock where we've got the chook technique, the chicken technique. You can see the cracked shells, rummage them with your feet and then you just pick up the nuts. So these things are incredibly spiky otherwise. Oh, look at that. You're going good. So we've had the very good fortune of being allowed to come to a small Fejoa orchard and clean up for pig food, but they're right at the point of drop.
They're really good.
They're really good. A lot of these will go to us, not the pigs. But the owners, he's had, like, this is towards the end of harvest and there's still an enormous amount of fruit dropping. So he's getting the really good ones, but some of these rows we've been invited to come and clean up. So he gets a cleaner orchard and we get good pig food. So when the pigs first got these, they weren't actually that impressed by it, but then they learnt,
like us,
as we did, to bite the end off and then squeeze it and just eat the seeds and the pulp on the inside, and the more astringent outer they sort of leave behind.
They just spit it out. And now they really love them, particularly the piglets. The piglets really like them.
And I like them now that I've learned how to eat them properly.
Yeah.
Because at first that astringent pulp was just too much for me, but...
yeah, Fejoas, they're really great. If you ever get the opportunity to try one, don't turn it up, because I really like them. They're very unusual flavour. A little bit pear, a little bit guava. What else were you saying? Banana-y?
Yeah, they're just
strange, but they're lovely.
They're a temperate area tropical fruit.
Yeah, they taste a bit like a tropical fruit.
Just a little appetizer on our way into the block. The pigs are in their bedroom.
Yeah.
Jet, come on, over. Come on, over. Jet, come on, over. Over. Come on, over. Oh, well, having a look here at the drain, it all looks pretty good. What do you think, Jet? I can see along here that there's no water, there hasn't been any pools or no puddling has happened, and up here is like there's the last of the water from that rain. So the rain has only just come down, and all of that is damp, but yeah, no pooling water, none of it's been blocked up. There's a little bit of a deeper puddle here. And here's the last remnant of it here, and it has been just very, very slowly going in. So it's not. It actually looks like it's a bit too steep going up the hill, but the water's moved very slowly. As a result, any deep bits or high bits of the high bits are gone, and any deep bits have sort of filled up with quite a hard pack of sand. So this little drain's running really, really well. So for my very first diversion drain, it's worked all right. What was important was also making sure that this lip is fairly flat. So when this dam actually fills up, we'll have a bit of a spillway, and there is one over there as well, but it's a little bit higher. Just here I put a bit of kikuyu just to stabilise this last section, and if it takes off I'll put some all the way along, but the onion weed is sort of really colonised in here because I can't let the pigs in here because they'll dig up my earthworks. When I was laying this out, I did want that bank to be fairly flat because hopefully when the dam fills up, this is slightly lower than the wall, so this will back flood and then gently go over like quite a broad area instead of one single section and wear away. But we've seen the dam really fill up. We've still got another month, almost 2, of decent rain, and this dam's nearly full. So it took a while to get to this level last year, so we're doing okay. It hasn't been particularly wet, but we did have a very wet June and a pretty wet July. And judging by that horizon, we're going to have a pretty wet night. So I'm pretty happy with this. I might get back by the fire and see what we've got for dinner.
Oh, look at it draining in.
My little friend here was just telling me about the dangers of the opposite sex. So, we've got a phascogale, or wombanger, some people call them, little marsupials around here, and he's dead, but he's in perfect condition because these little guys, they reach sexual maturity, then they have like a night of passion, then their heart gives out. So I just found him there. He looks pretty lifelike. He's even got ticks on his ears here that still haven't left him. So not a mark on him. He's just left this world. How do I know it's a male? Well, there you go. He's still got some remnants here despite his exciting evening. But every now and then we'll find one of these little guys just laying around, always the males. So they mate, they die. So I guess they don't consume the resources for the next generation, but pretty fancy looking little guy. Pretty cute. Phascogale.
If you enjoyed the video, we'd be really grateful if you hit that like button and told your friends and family that might be interested in it to follow along. If you haven't already subscribed, that really helps us out, and we look forward to seeing you next time.